Well folks, this is a trip down memory lane for me. Now standing in the middle of Mayfield Park, Mayfield Drive. This used to be a fantastic scheme. I'm not sure about it now, but when I grew up, one of the best schemes in Scotland. Just your typical scheme where everybody knew everybody, everybody looked out for everybody. Big triangle. I lived at number 200. This is the park. Oh, somebody's planked a play park right in the middle of one of the football pitches. Used to be 1, 2, 3, used to be 4 football pitches. Oh, good to see it. Still got nets up over there. When we played here, that big hedge behind the goal, that was a net. That stopped the ball. I've moved on though. Got the real nets now. Good to see. Same over there. I've got a fence there. That used to be a hedge. That was the goals. A quick resume of the people who stayed here. That house there was the Douglas family. Marshall, Brian. I think his big brother was Ronnie. So we've got older than us. Marshall and Brian, good football players. Good goalkeepers. Well, Brian's a silky player. Marshall's a good goalkeeper. Further down the scheme, around the corner, it's Ian Gray, affectionately known as Big Doug. He got that name for a five-a-side team. We kidded on with our Aberdeen when we were lads, 15-year-old. Big Doug was christened Doug Rugby. That name stuck. 30 years later, he's still Doug Rugby. Across the road with the Waddle family, Andy and Jim. They're good footballers as well. I think Jim liked his football a bit more than Andy. And Davy Hunter. Davy was a good player. He was my doubles partner at the heidery football. Used to play against Big Maxie and Big Podge. Often as not would beat them. Well, probably about 50-50 if Max ever sees us. And all good. Further down there, it's the Burns family. Pete, John and Andy lived in that house. Way down the lane there. John was a good goalkeeper. He was the only one that really played football. And we used to play gatey out in the street there, because there wasn't that many cars in those days. And John's front window got panned in on the door. his front window got panned in his bedroom. Unfortunately, his mother was lying in the bed at the time. You heard the screams a mile away. She took it well. I'm not saying who done it. Well, it was Big Maxie. Big Billy, he owned up anyway. That's Big Billy. I'll tell you where I stayed first. Should be able to see my old house right here, folks. Through the gap, number 200 Mayfield Drive. Like I said, fantastic place to grow up. There you go. Upper level, 200 Mayfield Drive. Through the wall, John Beresford. Nice big lad, John. He never played football much. He's in a band now. Lights Out by 9 they're called. Well worth a view, folks. Must admit. Across the road, you can maybe see the boarded up windows there. Don't know what's happened there. That's where Big Maxie stayed. Big Billy. Big Max was a character. He was a character. There's a story, this is a true story as well. He must have been standing about here. They hit a golf ball down the back green there. See the gable end of that house. There's an old guy out smoking a pipe. And I kid you not, he knocked the pipe clean out his mouth. And I must admit, I thought it was an urban myth until I met the old guy a few years later and he verified it actually did happen. So there you go. Big Maxie panned in a window across the road with a football. Knocked an old guy's pipe out his mouth. With a golf ball. Big Max was a local character, I must admit. Further around the scheme, my good mate, Big George Brody, Big Podge, unfortunately. Passed away a few years back. Still miss you, Podge. He's a great guy. No two ways about that. Further around there, Willie Mackenzie, still see Willie now and again. John Wardlaw, he was another one of my heidery doubles partners. He was my gatey doubles partner. I don't know if he was in my team when Big Maxie zabapped the window. What a laugh that was. Anyway, go further round with Brian Burke, Tommy Young, Jim Wright. They all lived around that way. Brian Burke, Tommy Young, Jim Wright. Three of them, in fact. I was going to say one or two of them were goalkeepers, or three of them. Fantastic goalkeepers. That's one thing about living up Mayfield. Everybody was a decent footballer, because you basically had to be. They played football till from early in the morning to dark at night. There's somebody coming through the park. I wonder why I'm talking to myself. We'll carry on anyway. Like I said, we all played heidery doubles, so you had to be pretty adept at the goalkeeping as well as the football side. And everybody basically was. I think Big Doug, I'm not like to slag Big Doug here, but he was the only one that never really achieved as a goalkeeper. The rest of us could probably have made it as a goalkeeper. But there you go, folks. That's a wee 360 the scheme. Was I around about at the top? I missed. I think back. Norman Richardson. Norrie was a great player. Don't know where he is now. I think he moved down to England. I still see most of the lads who lived up here. I'll reminisce about the old days. But yeah, this scheme had everything. You had the football. You come up the park anytime you want. Golf, cricket, you name it. At night you had the old chapdoor run, hide and seek, everything else, everything that kids played. Great times. So there you go, Mayfield Park. Time to move on.